The NFL draft is Thursday, and I'm not about to do a huge mock draft. I'm not about to do all that. I'm not about to do 7 rounds of this. I'm just going to answer a couple questions. Now, number one question is who's going to go number one? To me, I think you're there. So teams do this a lot. You have one person that's been a clear-cut number one, or clear-cut person that everyone says is number one, and that has been Aiden Hutchinson from Michigan. Now you're hearing people say, well, maybe Evan Neal, or maybe Trayvon Walker. Like, okay. To me, Aiden Hutchinson is the clear-cut number one. The stuff that he does on the defensive side of the ball as an edge rusher is, to me, it kind of mimics what we saw from Nick Bosa, what we saw from Joey Bosa. While I don't think that he's better than them, of course, that would be disrespectful, seeing as though they're both in the NFL. Aiden Hutchinson is, to me, the leaps and bounds best player in this entire draft. And I think when you're drafting number one, that means you have multiple issues. So when you're drafting number one, unless there's a quarterback that is transcendent, which there isn't, you go with the best player. In my opinion, that's Aiden Hutchinson. I don't think that should be. I don't think that should be a question. So, the next question I'll answer is who's going to fall. And honestly, I don't think it's one person. I think it's a collect number of people, and that is the quarterback class. Now, I just said that this is probably one of the weakest quarterback drafts in recent history, and you have Kenny Pickett. You have Malik Willis. You have Desmond Ridder. You have some good players. I just don't think when you look at the teams, maybe Detroit, I know Pittsburgh's probably going to be in the market for one, but I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if not a quarterback. Maybe look at Carolina. Maybe Carolina. I don't think there's going to be a quarterback taken. I would not be shocked if a quarterback was not taken in the first round. And I don't know. That's the first time since God knows how long that's happened. But I would not be surprised if there was not a quarterback taken in the first round, because I think the best quarterback in the fray of it all is Malik Willis. And I'm not liking, side note, I'm not liking some of the coverage that he's getting, because you're starting to hear a lot of people talk about Malik Willis the same way they talk about Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, come on now, he's an MVP of this league. Like, chill out. Talking about Malik Willis shouldn't be a quarterback. They always do this with black mobile quarterbacks. They did this with Cam Newton. They did this with Lamar Jackson. Chill out, all right? But yeah, I think all the quarterbacks can fall. I mean, I don't think it's going to happen, but I would not be shocked if not one quarterback was taken in the first round. It's just that weak of a class, in my opinion. So, who will rise? Who will rise? Who is a player that we don't talk about enough that could rise? Honestly, Kayvon Thibodeaux. I think because he played in Oregon, because he played for the Pac-12, which isn't that strong of a conference, which is why a lot of people have questions on him. But I wouldn't be surprised if he goes in the top 5. That maybe actually top 3. I wouldn't be surprised if I think that there was a reason that before last season he was projected as could possibly be the number 1 pick before Aiden Hutchinson just had an Aiden Hutchinson season. So I think Kayvon Thibodeaux can rise higher than anybody, honestly. It's just I think he needs to go to the right situation, and I wouldn't be surprised, especially seeing as he had an incredible year at Oregon. And again, before last season, he was projected to be a number 1 overall pick. So I think that the biggest riser can be Kayvon Thibodeau, and honestly, he can go as high as 2 in my opinion. And the sleeper of the draft, and the last thing I'll say, the sleeper of the draft, in my opinion, due to injury, is Jameis Williams. Yes, he has the torn ACL, so he's not going to be. I don't know if he's going to be ready right at the season starts. But if he did not have that torn ACL, he would be by far, in my opinion, the best wide receiver in this draft. And I don't think he's going to fall too far as far as like. I don't think he's. I think if Green Bay wants him, I think if Kansas City Chiefs want him, they're going to have to trade up, which is going to be hard to do. But Jameis Williams is the sleeper pick. I think that. I mean, we talk about Chris Olave, we talk about Garrett Wilson, we talk about Drake London, we talk about Treylon Burks. Jameson Williams is better than all of them when healthy. So the fact that he's going to fall due to the torn ACL, whatever team gets him is going to be great. And another person to look out for as not only a riser but a sleeper is Jermaine Johnson II out of Florida State. That man, he is huge. He's huge. He's a ball hawk. I think that he can go as. I mean, I think that right now they have him projected as like the 25th pick. I think he can go as high as top 5. That's how. I mean, Ahmad Gardner, the cornerback, he's going to be maybe Evan Neal, but I could see. I wouldn't be shocked if Jermaine Johnson not only shot up in the draft, like he could be top 5. Even if he's drafted where he is, I think that could be a sleeper pick because that's how good he was at Florida State. So.